Check out some of these stickers I have. I'm going to work on putting these on my laptop. But you are a fucking gem. Books with a heart. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Jesus loves everyone you hate. Wander without reason. I got this when the baby was born up north. It's a camper. Be the girl who decided to effing go for it. Some random flowers. Oh, the lake that David and I met at for the first time in person. Yeti. Free money that I got. I got money in my shop account, and then I got to order something that I wanted to try, which is brewed cocoa. I got all of these stickers, so my next job is to put them on my laptop, and I was thinking about how much of a rebel that is. Like, I loved collecting stickers and putting them on things, but I had a habit of either not putting them on something because I was afraid to lose the sticker itself on the item if the item got destroyed, lost, or ruined, or if it wasn't a great place to put a sticker. And so the greatest place to put stickers so you don't lose them or get them destroyed is actually on a laptop, because you treat the laptop so carefully and you get to keep your stickers. And it's so funny. My sister loads her laptop with stickers, and her husband's like, I would recommend not putting the stickers on the laptop. Like, it would be the worst thing to put a sticker on a laptop when it's like literally the perfect surface for a sticker. Anyway, I wanted to finish the conversation yesterday about manifesting my 6-figure month, and I kind of went all, I feel like I squirrel brained quite a bit on that. We talked about things like parenting, we talked about the universe, we talked about manifesting, we talked about David thinking my butt is an orange peel and as opposed to a bowl of cottage cheese. Like, we went into the cost of deer meat. It was an interesting update, but the biggest takeaways from that was I'm living a life that I really enjoy around people that I really have a good time with. I have generated, and I talked with my COO who does actually run the numbers. We're actually at 600,000 for the year. So we are halfway to making $1 million in 1 year. We did it in 6 months to get half. So I need, at a minimum, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, it would be another year, and then I would hit, or yeah, another full just half a month, right? No, full year. Not half a month, half a year. But it'd be a full year if I stayed status quo. Like, if I did nothing different and I was making the same amount of money, then by next year sometime I would hit $1 million. But I think I'm going to be hitting $1 million much faster than that, and then also hitting $100,000 a month much faster than, like, I'm hitting $100,000 every few months. It could take takes a couple months together, and then I've hit $100,000. But what I want to do is hit $100,000 in 1 month, and that would be expanding my business, at least expanding my monthly capacity at least twice. So what that means is I'm making at least 50,000 a month. I just need to double that number, and then I can do it. And I can see that I've already what's sextuplied. I've already 6 times. If I've made a total of 6, and I made the first 100,000 in the first year, and then the next year I made 5 more within 1 year. Like, look at the exponential growth of that is what I'm saying. So if I can make 100,000 in 1 year, and then the very next year make 500,000, if I do that 5 times more in the 12-month span instead of a 1 year span, like, holy crap, what do I get to do next? And this is how fun manifesting gets to be, is, you know, how much more can you do, how much more can you achieve, how much more can you have. You just keep going after these new goals, and it just becomes a fun game of, like, what else can I do, what else can I multiply, what else can I, numbers can I hit, what else levels of happiness can I hit, what else can I do. And so I've been focused on initially a $3,000 day, because it was much easier to think about $1,000 than it was to think 30,000 a month. So when I broke it down by day, like, it was kind of crazy to think about $1,000 in one single day, because it usually took me at least a month to get close to something as $1,000 in my hand. So I had no frequency level for understanding what $1,000 in one single day could actually look like on a normal basis. So it took a minute to kind of anchor in that frequency of what that could look like. And it was easier to say $1,000 than it was to say $100,000. Because let me tell you how scary it can be to say $100,000. There's a lot more weight when you say $100,000, because the thing is like what stops us from manifesting is we're unwilling to face the fear of that thing happening or not happening. Like I was sharing with about my friend the other day. He found a computer, he sold it, he got a couple $100, and then it came to the person smashed and destroyed. He had to do a refund, and now he lost out on the money that he thought he would have, which goes towards rent and food, and now he's also wasted time on this. And it's like the universe is giving him an opportunity to understand what loss feels like and be prepared at loss when it's a couple $100, because what are you going to do when you lost $3,000? And when you have $3,000, it's easier to lose $3,000. Like, you have to be prepared for things at every level and be able to hold the space of the bad thing happening now at this level. Like, when we talk about manifesting, there's two sides to the coin. One side is this feels good, one side is this feels bad. When you keep avoiding the feel bad feeling, when you're afraid of the feel bad feeling and you're not willing to either acknowledge it or accept it, when you fight against it, or like, I could never do this again, because if I do that, like falling in love with someone, like if I fall in love again, they're just going to break up again. It's just going to be more fighting again. I'm just going to be rejected again. If that's the thought you keep thinking, that's the experience you're going to keep having, and you're going to keep meeting people who are going to satisfy that thought and feeling, because we're unwilling to face the fear of what if, I meet a new person and then we do fall in love, and then this might happen, and we focus on all the things we don't want to happen instead of focusing on the things we do want to happen, because we're afraid. We allow fear to rob us of our current present reality, and we replay fear loops, and we experience fear loops over and over again instead of just facing the fear. What if I try to love another person and it fails again? How much more embarrassing can it get? I got engaged in 3 days, married in 3 months, and the marriage was over in less than 3 years. Is that something I am willing to do again in order to feel a love that I believe is mine? Am I courageous enough to date another person publicly? Am I courageous enough to put myself out there again? Am I willing to speak about it, or am I ashamed about it? Am I willing to share the story with people or hide the story from people? Like, that's that's a lot of things to have to deal with. If you can't handle it in small, like not life or death situations, how can you handle it in bigger situations? Like I get it. Like I said yesterday, I've been in situations where $3,000 is literally every single penny I have, and I have to put all of it down to get an apartment, and not and no, I mean, I've been blessed enough that I've always had a job. Other than when I was in 2017, I had no money coming in. But other than that, I've always had a job, in that I always knew money was coming in, or that I could easily obtain a job somewhere else. I never had to struggle with the job, so I knew money was always coming in. But when you have to spend every dollar you have, and sometimes even borrow money just to be able to exist, to have a place to live, and then that, like the panic of going through all of that and the experience of going through all that. And so there's a lot of fear attached to money and the frequency of $3,000, because if I can manifest it, I can also lose it. And what we need to understand is that we don't ever actually lose it. We'll just get it a different way, but we have to face the fear of what that feels like, and go through it and live through it and experience it, and realize that we'll still be okay. Ultimately, we're going to be okay. Everything is going to be restored. It's when we put our feet in the sand and say, clearly I'm doing something wrong. Clearly the universe hates me. I can never ever manifest what I want. That's what we want to avoid, is creating a narrative and a story that whatever situation happened, we assume that it's because we're doing something wrong, instead of just simply accepting that this is what has happened, and what do I need to do moving forward. If I ever ship something again, I will package it better, or I will only sell local. Like, you learn your lesson, and then you go back and manifest the $300 again, or the $3,000, or whatever amount you're no longer scared of losing. Because if you want to bring something into your life, there is a potential of losing it, and our unwillingness to face the fear of losing it prevents us from ever actually having it, and we just continually repeat live in the fear of losing it. Like if all I think about is, well, what if I can fall in love with this person and I can be in a relationship with them, but what if we break up and how awful is it going to be? And then I'm going to be alone again. And then people are going to make fun of me because I'm single, and people are going to make judgments upon me because I said I was with this person and now I'm not with this person. And I've seen people say I will, and I've even struggled to publicly say I'm in a relationship because I was afraid of other people's judgment over those things, and afraid of what I might experience if I tried to give somebody else my heart again. I was so afraid of losing what I thought I could get that I never really cherished what I had in front of me, and or went after the things I truly wanted. Sometimes I clung to something so hard and so fast because at least it was a flicker of what I wanted when it wasn't all of what I wanted, but I was willing to settle and just take less because who am I to get any more? But we can have whatever it is we want. We can have whatever it is we desire when we are willing to lose that thing, when we're willing to understand that every situation, no matter how it works out in the present moment, is ultimately working for my favor. I have to hold both sides of the coin. I have to hold the pain of that frequency and the magic of that frequency, and be able to understand that no matter what pain I go through, no matter what struggle I'm experiencing, it'll be worth the other side of it. It'll be worth it to go through what I have to go through. It'll be the fear itself is the only thing to be afraid of. The fear itself is the only thing to be afraid of. Because what fear is doing is just projecting possible potentials of things that don't actually exist, that really only exist in your mind, only because people instilled fear in you. Like the not willing to face our fears is what prevents us from manifesting. It is part of the manifestation equation is to be afraid. It is to move beyond the thing that we are afraid of, move despite the fear. It is moving within the trust that we know that we will be okay through the end of it. We will be okay. We have to weather a storm. There may be some frustrations. There may be some annoyances. There may be some things I don't like to deal with. But as I move through it, as I accept it and handle it, I can deal with more, bigger things. It would be much scarier to have made $1 million in my first year when I'm not in order and alignment with securing the money for taxes and making sure everything is fine. Now that I'm in a much better place, it'll be much easier for me to, manifest the money, because we have to be given small amounts at first in order to be prepared and handled. Otherwise, we can't face the fear. If I didn't get over the fear of knowing I could lose $3,000 and then manifest it tomorrow, like I can just do it again. I had to come to terms with that if I lose it, it's going to come back to me in another form, in another format, in another different way. Somehow I would be restored, and that ultimately I'm not losing anything, that I'm only gaining something in the long run. Instead of focusing on every moment being wrong, good, or bad, and judging it, I just lived every moment. I lived through every moment. I lived through every feeling. I took on the pain of the situation without trying to avoid it. I faced the things I was embarrassed about. I just dealt with them and accepted that this is who I am, this is my life, this is what I'm doing, and if you don't like it, you can go. Like this is what I have to do to take care of myself. This is what I feel good doing. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to look. This is how I want to have my family. This is how I like to have my day. Like we have to go back to, who we are and what we want, and then we get to create what it is that we want and have what we want within our experience, and verbalizing it and speaking it out loud and not being afraid to just go after it, and being able to handle the scariness of it. We are so afraid of the fear of the other side of the coin. If I am manifesting something, I have to understand there is pain associated to that frequency. There is struggle associated to that frequency. Everything is not all high vibe. But the thing is that when you come and you face the struggle and you deal with it, you're going to come out the other side better and stronger, more in alignment with who it is you want to be and what it is you want to experience, and way more capable at handling even more other big things. It's like when you kept saying, like, if you keep telling the universe, I don't want to lose my partner. If I do, it'll just be awful. And then the universe is like, show them another experience of losing their partner and where things are still okay. They haven't learned their lesson yet. Like, give her another crabby boyfriend, give her another situation that she can go through so that she can see she is stronger than this situation. Whatever we're thinking about, we're bringing about. So if we keep thinking that we are going to have a failed relationship if we get into one, then we are going to have a failed relationship when we get into one. But if we have a belief, if we have a thought that I get to have a wonderful and amazing relationship, and then I face the fear of, what if it doesn't quite work out? Well, then it doesn't work out. Well, then we break up. Well, then we move on. Just if it doesn't happen the way I expect, I can handle whatever fearful situation arises out of that. Like, even and because excitement and fear exist on the same level. It's the same feeling, and we have to tip the scales from excitement to, or from fear to excitement. Like I talk about with people all the time, passing the exam. You are so afraid of passing, but what's on the other side of passing? Focus on that thing. Focus on what happens after the passing. Don't make passing the goal. Make the career the goal, and passing is just one of the things you have to do on that journey that will get done, because you're spending more time visualizing and focusing on the outcome of passing instead of making passing the thing. Don't make it the thing. Go beyond that thing. So yeah, anyway. A lot of things that I did this time, I'm having to be prepared for facing the fear of losing $100,000 a month. Because what happens if I manifest that I could lose all that? Okay, well then what am I going to do? Like, what's crazy to me is so many people who make millions have been bankrupt first. They've lost everything. They've gone through their greatest fear and they still survived, and then they came back and manifested another million, and then a million after that, and even more after that. Like, Dave Ramsey even does it. He is a financial coach, and he's been bankrupt, I think, at least once, if not twice. And he is teaching people about money. Like, he has evidence that he has failed, but look how easy it is for him to generate even more millions. Like, once you get the belief that you can do it, it's a lot easier to do it. And the more you anchor in the belief that I can do it, the more you can do it. And the more you face the fear of what if it doesn't work, or what if it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen. Okay, then deal with it. Just deal with whatever happens, and ultimately know that whatever happens, it's going to be okay. Just take the next right step of whatever the situation in front of you presents. Many people would be deathly afraid of getting on camera and talking to people and saying, I'm going to be making millions of dollars. I'm going to be making millions of dollars. And some of you say, well, yeah, you can say that now because you started a business. I had to say it before I had a successful business. I had to say it when I wasn't even making money yet. I wasn't even making money yet. I had no proof of concept. I had no evidence that in the insurance exam queen would be able to make money to sustain me, and now it's making more money than needs to sustain me, and I can make even more and make even more. And some people say, yeah, now it seems easy because you have evidence of it going, but you have to have the courage and the confidence that you have the evidence, that the evidence will show up the more you show up. So the evidence shows up when you show up. So when you show up for your dream, when you vocalize and you verbalize and you say what it is that I want, and you lead yourself to that thing, that's when it manifests, despite any fear or obstacle in your way before that moment shows itself. The only thing to fear is fear itself, because once you just feel the feeling of what it is, once you endure the worst thing that you can possibly endure, and then you still see that you're alive, that you still have the ability to live your life, you can still do all the things. They say, okay, well, I can, if I was able to manifest 300 and I lost it, let me focus on the fact that I manifested it. And I already know that losing it is losing it, and it sucks, and I wish I didn't have to lose it, but I see that I can live through that. I can live through that, and I don't need to be afraid of it anymore. I don't need to be afraid of losing money, because I've already lost money and I've already survived it, and I've been okay. When I look back at the times that I had to put money down on a deposit for an apartment, and wondering if this was the right decision, or like, this is all my money on the line, or even getting into a new relationship with a person and trusting that other person to be there for me financially, mentally, emotionally, whatever, and then it's not worked out. Like, I've survived every one of those situations, so I don't need to be afraid again. If I do that again, like, there's nothing to be afraid of. I've done it. I've survived it. I've come out better every single time. So I don't need to hold past experiences that I've experienced to be the gate of what I can achieve now. I want to move beyond that. I want to go after things I haven't experienced, and the fear of, well, what if it doesn't work out isn't going to hold me back from getting it. I'm not going to, well, what if it doesn't work out? Well, what if you sound like an idiot? Well, what if, whatever happens, what if you lose your business? Okay, well, if I did it once before, I feel like I can do it again. And I also don't believe in so many of the beliefs we have about money. I believe I'm making money even when I'm not making money. Like we have the belief that there are only certain hours during the day in which we can make money. And when we attach an hourly wage to what we're doing, we begin to value the hours in which we make money, and we don't value the hours that we don't make money. And then we get frustrated when we're doing something we don't enjoy during that time because we highly value that time. Like if you're afraid about money, when you're not making money, you're thinking about money and how you can make money and how you might be losing money. But if you just understood that when you're living each moment of your life in the present moment and accepting it for what it is and trusting that your impact gets to be your income, you think a lot more about your impact in that moment. What am I doing in this exact moment of my life? If I'm living it to its fullest enjoyment, or feeling its deepest pain or sorrow, whatever this moment in front of me is, I'm going to handle this moment that I have right now and love this moment, whether it's a money making moment or not, and trust that when I am living my life to the fullest in each moment that I will have all the financial support that I need. If I attach money only to the hours in which I'm able to actually have somebody else pay me, or a job or whatever, I limit the amount of money that I can receive. I like to receive money while I'm sleeping. I make money in my sleep. I wake up and there's notifications that money has been deposited into my account. I much prefer my life to be that way, instead of thinking that I always have to be doing something in order for any money to come into my account. That can get very exhausting. It can be very exhausting if that's my only way of receiving money, is by working at a place and putting an hour in of time. I have to physically do something in order to produce money, and it's the only way that I get to make money, and I can't make money unless I'm doing something. As a CEO of my own business, I get to make money while I'm sleeping. There's nothing physical I have to do to get any money in my account. What's happening is I did do something, and I'm making money on that on repeat, and that's really wonderful. But also, just simply, I'm saying the belief that this moment that I have right now, it's not worth time unless I'm somehow making money or thinking about money or worried about money. I'm just living in the moment that I have right now with the most enjoyment that I can, not stressing out as to whether it's making money or not. I trust and believe that what I'm doing, if I am living and enjoying my life, that all the money and support that I need will be coming in. It'll be coming in the way I need it, and I'm not going to stress or overwhelm if this exact moment is a money-driven activity or not a money-driven activity. And again, facing the fear of, well, what if it doesn't work out? Okay, what if it doesn't work out? Live the scenario. What if it doesn't work out? It's literally like the universe gives us multiple opportunities of it not working out to show us that if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, and you just keep going. When we can handle it in little moments, we can handle it in bigger moments. And I literally even mean money. Losing $300 when $300 is all you have is a lot. But imagine losing $300,000 if all you have is $300,000. Like, the fear of that is exponential compared to $300. But yet it is all you have. Like, we got to shift our perception and understand that we can lose everything and we're still okay. You're still on a device listening to someone speak on the internet. You're okay. No matter what has happened in your life, you're okay. And we can live on that moment and go through and face our fears, or we can allow our fears to continue to keep us little, to keep us small, to keep us from getting what we want. Like, I would much rather face every fear that I have than to continue staying small and being small and not getting what it is I want in my reality. There are things that I want in my reality. I want an amazing partner. I want a beautiful house. I want delicious food. And I would rather focus on all of those things rather than belief systems that say I have to go somewhere for a scheduled time and that's the only time I can earn money. I earn money in my sleep. And I keep believing that. And I keep believing that. And then I'm earning more and more money in my sleep. Like, that's what manifesting is saying, this is what I want. I believe it to be true. I'm willing to face the fear of whatever I would have to experience for this thing. I know that if I lose something, I'll manifest it again. Like the universe will always take care of me. It'll always work out no matter what, even if I can't see it in this moment. I trust that it's all going to work out. And I'm just going to take the next right step. And when you have that comfort and that confidence knowing that it's all going to work out no matter what, and all we have to do is just look back. What's happened so far? Have you lived through some awful things? Yeah. Have you lived through some tragic things? Yeah. Are you here now? Yeah. So you survived. Like you went through something you thought was the worst thing ever. And instead of trying something else or doing something new, you make circles of avoiding having to experience pain you've already felt before. You've already felt it. You already know you can survive. You've already felt the rejection of a person. You already felt a breakup. You already felt loving someone with what you believed was your whole heart and then them leaving. You've already felt those things. And the universe gives you more and more opportunities of it not working out to show you that you'll still survive if it doesn't work out. You'll still manifest another one. Now, do you want to manifest another person who will simply satisfy your toxic traits, or do you want to manifest a healthy partner? Because that's available to you too. And you can have that. And if you're afraid of repeatedly getting bad partners, you're going to keep getting bad partners until you realize that you can have the other side of things. You can have the positive side of things. You can have the happy side of things. But you have to be able to hold the pain of the bad things and the experiencing of the bad things at smaller levels to get them at bigger levels. And what I mean by that is the joy that I have over having a daughter. In order to have a child, I have to live with the fact that at any moment something could happen to her. She could die. She could be gone. Like that is what it is to have a child. Your heart is coming out of your body and now walking around on and squirming around on its own, and you don't have at any moment something could happen. But I can't experience the joy and love of a child if I'm not willing to hold the risk of losing my child, because it can happen. I have a friend whose son died at 9 weeks old. It can happen. But in order to have any experience of love, in order to have any experience of the wonderment of having my daughter, I have to be able to hold the chance and hold the pain that I could lose her. And it's easier to do with kids, but we're so afraid to do it with relationships, with ourselves, with people. Like we have to be okay knowing that not everything is going to be sunshine and rainbows. And that if I can handle myself during the not sunshine and rainbow parts without adding a narrative to it that I must be going through this because I'm a bad person. No, you're going through it because you're on human and you're on planet Earth and things are not exactly perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. Okay? No one would ever want a baby to die. No one would ever purposely say, I mean, I guess there are some deranged people out there that have killed babies. But I mean, I don't think anybody wishes that a mother doesn't get to have her child alive a whole long life. I don't think anybody wishes to say, we should take away your 9-week-old. But it is an experience that people have lived with, and I have to live with. It can happen at any point to my child, and yet I'm going to focus on the fun and the beauty and the livelihood that I get to have with my daughter. But I could never have that unless I was willing to hold the risk that something could happen to her. Something could happen to her. I could wake up one day and she doesn't wake up. That is a reality of possible choices in the realm of this world. Can I hold the pain of that? Yeah, I can, because I have a daughter now. I have to. There's no other choice. But what I'm going to focus on is what I'm enjoying with her, our life together. And that's any manifestation. If you're willing to hold the pain of losing it, if you're willing to hold the pain of what happens if it doesn't work out exactly the way I want it to, and then if we have to experience that, we dismiss manifestation, but we forget that that's part of manifestation, is to hold the worry, is to hold the fear, and do it despite the fear, do it despite the risk potential. Okay, there's a huge risk when you're even making amounts of money. I have somebody who's afraid that I keep talking about how much money I have, that someone is going to come take my money from me or harm me in some way. Yes, that is possible, but that's possible whether I'm poor or rich. There's no difference. Like if I could have, only the cash in my wallet, and at any point someone on the street could stop me and take my cash. Like there's always fear on the other side of everything that we do. There is always fear on the other side. Can you hold it? Can you accept that the potential embarrassment? Can you accept the potential losing all of the money, owing people money? Can you accept the potential of any possible thing that could happen on this spectrum? But the more I'm willing to hold the things I'm afraid of, the more things I get to enjoy, the more things I get to have, the more experiences, the deeper, the richer my life. I just have to be okay with the times that don't feel good. I have to be okay with the times that don't feel the best. I just need to stop putting a narrative on them that says this means there's something wrong with me. Just be sad when we get to be sad. If you're sad, be sad. Be sad. And don't write a story about it. I'm sad because the universe hates me and I will never ever get what I want. That is a story I have told myself. I'm not healed enough yet. The universe, there's a lesson I have to learn. The lesson you have to learn is just accept the moment as it is. I can handle anything that comes in this moment, knowing that every moment after this, even this moment that I'm in is working out for me. It's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. I'm just going to handle what I need to handle in this moment. There are times where I'm able to look years ahead, and usually I do that when I'm feeling positive. When I'm feeling negative, I'm not going to spend time looking years ahead. I'm just going to focus on what I've got going on. Because if I use the lens of I'm sad to try and look 10 years ahead, that's just worry, that's just fear, that's just doubt, that's just preventing me from getting what I want. But if I can spend when I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling right, when I'm in the zone, then I'll think 10 years ahead. You got to pick and choose what activity we're doing when we're feeling what we're feeling. As long as we allow ourselves to feel what we're feeling and make no judgment of it, like that's when beauty gets to happen. So anyway, I love you all. Yeah. So I want to be talking more about manifesting. I want to talk about how, we get to decide, we get to write our lives. And so, yeah, that's what I want to be doing. So if you have any questions, let me know. Drop them in the comment. Manifesting just is, I've been learning that manifesting is an equation where you have to be able to accept the fact that there are moments we don't enjoy along this journey. But if we understand and know that everything is working out for us in our favor through that moment, we can get through that moment. It is temporary. It will pass. Everything is temporary. It passes, even the good stuff. Even the good stuff is temporary. The high highs, celebrating, $3,000 a day. Because as soon as you celebrate $3,000 a day, now you have a moment of, now I got to do it again. On the other side of manifesting and getting something what you want, now another manifestation has to come in. And so, everything is temporary, the celebrations and the conflicts. And when we allow them just to continually flow, always knowing it's like getting better and better as we go, that's what life gets to be. I can accept the low moment now, knowing that it means a higher moment next time. But in order to get a higher moment again, this moment needs to be low. That's another thing we need to understand. We have to appreciate where we are and understand that it's not perfect at the same time. Because if I want something better than this, that means that there is something better than this. There has to be something about this that I don't like that will accelerate me to this next point. It's not all sunshine and roses to get to here. So sometimes getting to our next level is feeling the discomfort of where we're at. And we can't feel the discomfort of where we're at if everything is working out for us. And things will not always they work out for us, but it doesn't always feel good, is what I'm trying to say. Getting into alignment hurts. If you have a broken bone, it hurts putting that bone back in order. And there are times where mentally, spiritually, we're going to go through moments of things being put back in order. I had no boundaries growing up as a kid because my father had no boundaries. I didn't know how to implement boundaries. One of the biggest things I've done to manifest myself from making the amount of money I have is to put in boundaries of what I will tolerate within my field, within my household, within my relationships. I was talking today about somebody name calling and venting their frustration. It feels like a toxic relationship I don't want to be a part of. And I don't tolerate the people I'm around to behave like that. And if you behave like that, I don't want to be around you. And setting up boundaries to protect your peace. If people want to complain all the time and not do anything towards helping the situation, that's not energy that I can hang around. And I'm going to set up boundaries in place to what it is that can be available, that can be around me, or what I'm willing to spend my time on. Like if I'm focused on something and it's not helping me or the person I'm with, or it doesn't feel good, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend time there, because it doesn't I get to have the reality that I want to have, and I need people to do what I need them to do, and I get to set boundaries for what that looks like. And like 2 years ago, I was saying brave new Melissa as I was going to Belize. Today I had to say CEO boss bitch Melissa, because I have to say what things are. This is a business. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. This is my direction. This is what I'm manifesting. This is how it gets to be. And I can't, waver on that. I have to learn how to set boundaries for that. I also had to learn how to chill and read my books again. Like, building my business meant a lot of times relaxing and reading a book, getting into my creative side of things, getting into moments that made me feel happy. And again, we're so worried that the only time we make money is when we're doing something we believe makes money. But if I have the belief that I make money while I'm reading, then I can do reading knowing that I'm receiving value for that, and that what I'm manifesting will come to me faster. It's when I think that a moment is not valuable that the universe says, okay, this moment isn't valuable to her. She doesn't want to receive anything from this moment. She only wants to receive money while she goes to this place from 8 to 5, and that's the only way she wants to get money in her life. So we won't show her any other ways of getting money in her life other than that, because that's what she believes. If I begin to tell the universe that I believe I make money while I'm reading, I make money while I'm sleeping, I make money while I'm eating, I make money while I'm having sex, I make money while I'm doing whatever I want to do. If that's the belief I have, then the universe will say, here's evidence, here's evidence, here's evidence, here's evidence, here's evidence. I now have evidence that I can make money doing any one of those activities. And it's so much easier for me to sink into that, but that didn't naturally happen. I had to harness that belief in. I had to get onto the frequency of that belief. And I had to accept the fear of what that belief meant. Previously, the only way I could make money was going to a building and giving my time and my body and my physical something to someone else. And then I got money. That was the only way I used to get money. I never got money before sleeping or eating. Well, making money sex. That is. But anyway, I had to experience other examples. I had to trust. I just had to trust. I had to trust. I had to trust and had to trust. And what I would do is I'd look at other people. Well, she's making money in her sleep. If she can make money in her sleep, I can do it. Like, I seriously thought about Kylie Jenner. I don't know nothing about that family other than like what other people complain about, because I don't watch them. I don't know anything about them. But I know that a girl made lip gloss and is now a billionaire. Like, if she can do it, she's making billions by making lip gloss. She's clearly not making it off of just the lip gloss. Like, she is and she isn't. You know what I mean? Like, is it truly that valuable, or is people buying it because of the value that her name being attached to it? And how is she the person whose name is attached to it? Because she does what she does. Because she lives her life how she lives her life, and she doesn't care about what other people think. Like, that's I was like, if she can do it, I can do that. And I don't know nothing about that person. But if she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. I use the evidence of other people getting what I want to believe it was possible for me. I didn't have personal evidence. I didn't have evidence that I could make money in my sleep. But my coach made money in her sleep. So if she can do it, then I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. That was one of the biggest beliefs I had as I began building my business and manifesting the things that I want. Well, she did it, I can do it. And so that's what I'm doing for you. I have not earned $100,000 in a month, but I'm telling you that I'm going to. I'm putting it out there. I'm showing you in person how this works. I am verbalizing it. I am stating it. I am going after it. I am doing moves that would require it, sales-driven activities. But mostly, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. I'm willing to say that I'm doing it before I've done it. And that's one of the big pieces to making it actually happen. When we're manifesting something, we're taking something that is abstract and we're wanting to make it reality. It is an abstract idea of $1 million in my own life. None of my family has touched $1 million, I'll tell you that. Never at one time, never in their hands, right? Like, that is something that is super abstract to me, $1 million. But but words to a level are abstract because they don't exist other than what comes out of our mouth. But if we understand that our words actually do carry power, and that the words that we speak can bring things from the ethers out there and the quantum soup and make it a reality, that at some point I will hold $1 million in my hand. You'd be surprised how little money is. Like, in my second marriage, I had the opportunity to hold $30,000, or maybe 50,000. It was as much money as I made in a year. I held $30,000 in my hand, and I was like, it's surprisingly not a lot. Like, you would think $30,000 is this massive suitcase worth of money, because that's how much money I make in a year. And it's so much what I used to make in a year, right? And in my mind it was like so much because I never seen it all at once. It's what I lived throughout an entire year. So in my mind, feeling like as much as I was spending money and as much as I had to pay for things, that if I were to add it all up at one big time, it would be this huge suitcase of money. But it really was like a stack, like you could fit in your hand. Like, that's how much $30,000, $40,000 was. It was surprisingly small to me. And that's what perception is. When we make it really big, when we make something too big, we can't manifest it because it's too big. There's too much fear on the other side of it that we're not willing to face. But if it could be something smaller, something that we've already done before, we realize it gets to be easier and easier. So, like, I began manifestation with a sewing machine. Can I manifest a sewing machine? Yes, I was able to manifest a sewing machine. I have this whole story about how I watch a post on Christine. Christine talked about manifesting a conversation she wanted to have with a person. And she said that manifestation was an instant, I forget the equation now. I hope I say it right. A strong desire plus um, a detachment would allow her to manifest the thing that she wanted. And so I did that with the sewing machine. I was like, I want a nice sewing machine. I'm going to let go of how that's going to work and how that's going to happen. And I'm just going to allow the universe to work magic. But I still did things like I let people know I wanted a sewing machine. I was asking people what type of sewing machine would be a good sewing machine. So I wasn't just saying, okay, a sewing machine is going to randomly show up on my door without me doing anything. That's not manifesting. So manifest is saying, I want a sewing machine. Now I'm going to do some actions towards looking up a sewing machine. But what I wasn't going to do was worry about it and like teeter-totter on like committing to a decision or something. Like, you don't want to be afraid of it. You just think of the good things about it. So I was recommended a certain sewing machine. It was like my cousin who is a fashion designer or working on being a fashion designer, she's like, this is the best sewing machine to have. So I look it up and I'm like, it's a $1,500 sewing machine. I'm like, oh my God, that's like one entire paycheck to buy a sewing machine. That's what I have to pay for rent. Can I give that up for a sewing machine? So I'm like, okay, well, can I buy used of those? So I'm looking up used sewing machines. But I'm nervous about, well, what if it's broken, and what if it doesn't work right? I'm gonna have to give up money for that. And that was the fear, the other side of that fear. Okay, well then I'll just, I'll deal with that if this is what I want. My sister ends up finding the sewing machine of that brand, of that model, in perfect condition at a Goodwill store or a Home Good, whatever it was Restore. And then it was like showing as like $88, and then she got it half off, and she bought it for me as a gift. I got a completely free $1,500 sewing machine. Yes, it was used, but it was in perfect condition, and it was still valued at what it was. The store before they sold it for 88 was trying to sell it for 400, and I got it for free because my sister bought it for me, and it's still in like mint condition. And actually, it reminds me how much I need to learn how to sew because I can't find any pants that I like. So that's another thing, is getting into my creativities and hobbies, going back to the things that I love and enjoy. That's going to be something that's going to help me manifest a six-figure month. If all the activities that I'm doing are to try and achieve a goal are annoying me or frustrating me, or I'm not enjoying my time, it's not going to work out. Because if I have a belief that I can make money in my sleep, if I have a belief that I get to enjoy my life, and I'm doing activities that cause me not to enjoy my life, the universe can't answer me with my $100,000, because then it is confirming that that I make money doing it the hard way. It doesn't want me to I don't want to make money doing it the hard way. So the universe can't allow me to make money doing it the hard way. if I'm going to get what I want. I have to allow myself to enjoy what it is that I'm doing, get into my hobbies and activities as well as work. I need work things, but I also need hobby things. I need things that I enjoy doing. I need to let my creative side out. And again, that's where the fear comes in. Well, I only can make money if I'm doing something that somebody else says is worth money and they're willing to pay me for it. Well, what if you knew that doing your favorite hobby was going to result in magically $1,000 showing up tomorrow in some way, some fashion? Like, just if you could trust that that is true, like if you could trust that your hourly wage, whatever you believe you earn hourly, I want you to believe that you can earn that every hour of the hour for 24 hours. And so, like, when you're making dinner for yourself, I'm actually earning my hourly wage right now in energetic money. Like, just pretend. Like, and just try and see how that works and see how that happens for you and what changes about your belief about money or what changes about what's possible. Like, just for a moment, think about something bigger beyond what you believe now, and just a tiny fraction. So even if you're like, well, uh, I can earn at least just believe it's just so stupid. Energy is just so stupid and so silly in that all you have to do is believe I am earning money no matter what I'm doing. It's just energy. Like that's what people don't understand it. It's just energy. Like I'm emitting an energy that says I make money no matter what I'm doing. I make money no matter what I'm doing. I make money no matter what I'm doing. And then I go about my day believing that that's true. And then it happens. It literally has happened for me. So I get to make money no matter what I'm doing. In fact, if I were to pull my phone, I have not checked my website. I haven't spoken to anybody at work for a couple of hours. I did spend some time this morning. And if I were to go to my website and I can see how much money was being made, I can tell you how much money I've made today, and I have not spent hardly any hours actually working. I did spend a few this morning, mostly talking to people. In fact, I had a phone call in the bathtub while I was eating an omelet that David made and enjoying my time. But I don't attach the belief that the only time I get to receive money is when I'm working hard doing something I don't want to do based on what someone else thinks I need to do with my time. I don't have that belief anymore. I have the belief that I get to make money whenever I want, and we just had another 3K day. We just had another 3K day. Second time. Not in a row, because you could see the day before was 2. But baby's hungry, so I gotta go. I love you all. I make money while breastfeeding.